Coming up on Mountain News at 6, 2 men in Harlan County are among the first in the state to become certified school resource officers. Plus, concerns raised at the state capitol today regarding how schools are handling grief in children.
Plus, Mother Nature may have a few tricks in the forecast by Halloween. Those details coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
2 Harlan Countyans are among the first to become certified school resource officers. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us how those officers are helping their school.
A training lasting years is now in the books. Danny Ball and Jason Howard are now certified school resource officers.
This training included things such as dealing with special needs children, mental health awareness, trauma-informed action.
The 2 have worked as officers at Harlan County High School for 4 years. In that time, they have gained trust from administrators.
As an administrator, we're very thankful to have them on board to help us.
Not just administrators, but students feel more safe as well.
Anytime there's a problem, it's always taken care of quick, and there's not like a lot of tension around it. It's taken care of quietly.
Getting that trust from students was a top priority for administrators when the school system's police department was established.
They're students first, so it's not just a disciplinary deal as far as them being out here. They provide comfort and safety to the kids as far as them being able to communicate anything that may be going on in the building.
Creech says the officers stay visible throughout the day for students. He also says the safety of people in the building is at the forefront of what they want to achieve. In Harlan County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
We were unable to talk to Danny Ball and Jason Howard today, but administrators say they are always one of the first to arrive at the school and last to leave, showing their dedication. Troopers with KSP Post 8 in Moorhead are looking for a man who's wanted for assault. Take a look at your screen. 33-year-old Wesley Howard is 6 feet 2 inches tall with hazel eyes. Police say he is known to frequent Morgan and Montgomery counties. If you have any information, you should call the Moorhead KSP Post at 606-784-4127. Deputies in Boyle County arrested 2 men recently who thought they were meeting up with children for sex. Paul Norton of Horse Cave, Kentucky, and James Alpine of Indiana were taken into custody. In both cases, a deputy pretended to be a young girl, and police say the men had arranged a meeting place to have sexual encounters. Police say Alpine had arranged to meet who he thought was an underage girl at a hotel, while Norton was planning to take a girl back to his home.
It's a very good thing for our community to get these people in jail.
Both men were charged with procuring or promoting sexual performance of a minor by electronic means, which is a Class D felony.
Well, you're tracking some nice weather across the mountains into your Wednesday evening. Here's a live look from Wayne County. All thanks to the Kentucky Mesonet, you can see some blue sky, some sunshine, and that will continue as we go into this evening. Those mild temperatures also going to continue. Most of us right now in the middle 70s, but a few upper 70s out there as well, up to 77 for Manchester, or 78 for Manchester, 77 for Somerset, and 75 for Jackson, also Hazard and London at this hour. Up on the radar, we are dry. That's also going to continue into this evening. So if you have any plans for dinner outdoors, the forecast looking fantastic. We stay dry. Also under a mainly clear sky, those temperatures back in the middle 70s and middle 60s as we go into this evening. But as we look further off into the forecast, some chilly weather is on the way by next week. Those details plus your full 7-day forecast on the way in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. The Kentucky Center for Grieving Children and Families says Kentucky ranks 7th in the nation for childhood bereavement. Many of these children are losing parents or siblings to illness, drug abuse, or violence. Today, the center presented at the Interim Joint Committee on Families and Children in Frankfort. Alyssa Williams was there to learn more.
1 in 9 children across Kentucky will lose a parent or sibling before they turn 18, something that Katarina Salisbury knows all too well.
My dad died by suicide when I was 5 years old, and I was lucky enough to have the support of a grief center when we were living in Mississippi. But then, my grandmother died when I was 13, suddenly and unexpectedly and very traumatically, and we didn't have any kind of grief support here in Kentucky.
That's why the Kentucky Center for Grieving Children and Families was created in 2020. And on Wednesday, center members and other advocates were at the Capitol expressing why grief support is important for children.
We really need programs, especially in rural areas where there aren't as readily accessible mental health providers that can provide grief support.
Beyond a school-based program surrounding grief, the center is also trying to grow its peer-led program where trained teens can help one another.
It's very collaborative, and it's more just like these are our shared experiences. You know, what are some tips, what are some coping skills and tools that we can use to come together and move through this.
With the structure of these programs set in place, those with the center say they just need grant funding to expand across the Commonwealth.
Planting kind of this army of caring, supportive individuals across the state is something we'd really love to see happen.
In Frankfort, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
Those with the center say there is a significant need for grief support geared toward teens right now. If you want more information on these programs, you can visit the Kentucky Center for Grieving Children and Families website. A fungus is being reported at UK Hospital. UK Healthcare says 5 cases of the fungus Candida auris were reported at the hospital. Candida auris is a type of yeast. Health officials report it has been known about across the globe, though cases have been increasing in the past several years.
Spread through contact, it's on surfaces, it's a hardy organism that's long-lived on inanimate objects. Once it's present in hospital rooms, it's very difficult to eradicate. You have to do special cleansing procedures, but it's just a difficult germ from an infection control standpoint to deal with.
Doctors say this disease likely will not affect you, but their doors remain open to people who need treatment. Earlier this month, the University of Kentucky was awarded $19 million to begin tobacco research specific to the region. The name of the program is Apple Trust. It stands for Appalachian Tobacco Regulatory Science Team. The program will focus on the relationship between tobacco and rural communities. The counties included from our region are Breathitt, Knott, Leslie, Letcher, and Perry counties. The goal of the research is not to make people quit tobacco, but to really understand their habits.
And the team part is really important because it's not only showing that we have a multidisciplinary team of scientists and researchers and community engagement specialists, but we imagine that the team is larger to include all the communities that will be working in.
Researchers say they'll begin searching for candidates for the research in February. We'll have more on this program and the goal of its research tonight at 11. The city of Campton in Wolfe County was awarded more than $900,000 for a project on Main Street. City leaders plan to replace the pedestrian bridge on Kentucky 191 between Mill Street and Washington Street. The project will also include the construction of a sidewalk starting at the intersection of Wall Street and West 2nd Street. The funding is being provided by the Federal Transportation Alternatives Program. We have more about this at WYMT.com. One Eastern Kentucky school district is asking voters to approve a double nickel tax to help fund construction projects within the district. Lawrence County School Superintendent Robbie Fletcher says at the top of the priority list is replacing an aging elementary school. The tax would also fund repairs to the roof at Louisa Middle and upgrade sports facilities at every school.
5 or 6 years ago, we were given an estimate of about $17 million of what it would cost to replace the building, build a brand new building. But since COVID, and you've seen how much construction costs have increased, how much even buying buses have increased, that latest estimate has been somewhere around $27 to $30 million.
If passed, the tax would bring an additional $11.5 million along with state matched funds.
Well, we are tracking some dry weather into this evening, but rain chances are looming. Those details on the way after this break.